Specialized versus generalized tools. I'm being asked a bunch of times, like, how is Orion different from, let's say, advanced or deep reasoning with ChatGPT? There are some very distinct differences, and I also notice in our own architecture, there's a very important difference between being a specialist versus a generalist. So as we build out Orion, we actually use quite advanced AIs underneath. We notice that if you give an AI a broad task, it doesn't quite do as well as giving it specific tasks and then bringing it together. So in our architecture, our multi-agent system, we have one AI that's responsible for managing the tasks. So all it cares about is that a certain goal is being achieved. It doesn't care about how it's being done per se, or the underlying skills for it. It cares about the tasks and that's being achieved. And then underneath, you have agents that are responsible for statistical significance, for reviewing data and analyzing data, for checking external data sources and bringing in the larger world outside of your own data set. And they talk to each other, they debate it, but they're each specialized on something. We tried previously doing things with, one AI, maybe, a prompt with the multiple examples. And it's just the more you ask the AI to do, the worse it gets. Very simple example is we have a lot of proprietary data sets now, right? So we can tell Orion, hey, use all these data sets and see what correlations you find. Well, if you have too many data sets there, it looks across so many different possible reasons of why something happened that you have a decline. So now we have an agent that makes a decision first on which of the external data sets should be reviewed for that specific task at hand and narrows it down. So we then only have a couple data sets to look at and see if there's any correlations there. And that's how I think about like a generalist system, right? That doesn't necessarily have that kind of guidance of what to use and when to use it. And it brings too many cooks in the kitchen, right? It brings too many potential perspectives, information sources together, where if you break it out and say, okay, your job over here is just to figure out which data sources should we use. Okay, you made that decision, you came up with something. Okay, now that we have it limited to 3 data sources, let's figure out what the correlations are. So breaking out a task and setting the goals and achieving each goal creates a much better, consistently good outcome than having one big system that tries to process it all in one pass with many, many different goals underneath that are happening. And I think, consistently at scale, good outcomes is really what we're building for. Maybe in a consumer-facing product like ChatGPT, you can afford to have every once in a while like a strange outcome. That's not necessarily the case in kind of any enterprise tool, really. It has to be consistently really good. And that's why we have this multi-agent system where each agent has a specific goal and they perform very well for that specific goal.